fresh out the oven.
What is cracking, everybody? It's MegapieMan here, and welcome to another look at my map video. This time for King of the Hill Synthetic Event B2A. It is B2A because when I originally compiled B2, I forgot to have one of the viz groups active. A viz group is when you take a bunch of things in a map and group them all together so you can turn them on and off with one option. And I had one turned off, so there was a bunch of stuff missing, so I had to recompile it and re-upload it, so it's B2A. I'm sorry. It happens. But we have new things! Not only is there a butt-ton of new detailing and some new assets, big thanks to Blaholtzen and Dat G-Man. These two have gone freaking crazy when it comes to doing stuff for King of the Hill Synthetic Event. They have done far and beyond my wildest dreams of wanting to do things for this map. Originally, I just contacted Blaholtzen. Well, actually, originally I contacted that G-Man, because he's the one whose contact information I found first. But I contacted them about wanting to make this portrait over here for the background lore of the map of Annabelle Sinclair, and from there, they've gone and made so much stuff and let me use all kinds of stuff. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I've also finally got in contact with the modeler Mick, who I believe I talked about this before. He created the heavy on a stretcher prop over here that I was using here, and also created this wheelchair, this old wheelchair prop over here. Now, this took a lot of getting, but finally I was able to contact Mick. Big shout out to Beer Money Games, which is the game company that Mick is now running. And it's like 10 years ago, this guy made these models. I wanted to use them in the map. I like the wheelchair. I like the heavy on a stretcher thing. I might move these around a little bit in the future, but I wanted to be able to use them, but I couldn't use them because I couldn't credit him. The way the Steam Workshop works is everything goes through Steam profiles when it goes up in the Steam Workshop for contributors. And I could not find this guy's Steam ID to go to connect it to his Steam profile. Now, I haven't put this map up on the workshop yet, but when it gets to the workshop, I gotta be able to credit everybody. In the off chance that Valve does buy the map, they then go through all of the Steam profile credits and whatnot for all of that stuff. And as you just heard, the control point was enabled, so let's go talk about the control point. There are now more skeletons! I added a couple of normal skeletons to go along with the King skeleton, or the Skeleton King, whichever way you want to say it, specifically to try and make the boss a little bit more of a threat. The Skeleton King is by far the least threatening of all of the bosses. The way that it goes, in my opinion, is Skeleton King, Horseless Headless Horseman, Monoculus, and then Marasmus. That's the way it goes up. The Skeleton King is the least threatening, so to try to make him a little bit more threatening, I gave him some skeleton buddies. And since I can't do a truce, the truce mechanic is specific to only Monoculus and Marasmus. It's built into their code. It's not built into the Skeleton King, or I guess the Horseless Headless Horseman. Let's remember how you say that. He can't do it either. But anyway, I can't activate it on my own. You can only activate it through the usage of Monoculus and Marasmus. So when the Skeleton King appears, people can still capture the point, and time still ticks down for whoever captured the point while everyone's trying to fight the Skeleton King. So now, timer pauses, and the point is reset to neutral, and is locked for 30 seconds. Once 30 seconds is over, the point becomes available for capture again, so that whoever captures the point, the timer then starts going down for them. It does mean that whoever had the point before the Skeleton King shows up will then lose the point and have to retake it. But I'm hoping that won't be too much of an issue, because it's the easiest way for me to put in a system like this. It's not exactly a truce system, because teams can still kill each other, but it's about as good as I can get on my own, at least from what I've been able to figure out so far. Unfortunately, some of the shadows are a little bit weird because of source. Like these things. I made this a heck of a lot curvier, but now the shadows are all messed up because Source likes messing with shadows. I don't know what's going on with that. I gotta try and see if I can fix that, or maybe just make it a square block. If I can't figure out how to fix it, I don't know. Source! This engine. I mean, I don't know how to use any other engine, so I like the Source engine because it's the one I know how to use. But, sometimes, Source. Sometimes. We also have... Oh, there goes the skeleton kick again. You can't really see it because I'm in spectator, but the point would be paused in like 30 seconds. The announcer would say, point is available for capture. And that's when it would be recapturable. But we do have these new barrel props. I changed these props around a little bit here to try to make them match the theme more. So I replaced the construction light with the welding machine and a fancy lamp from the Maritime pack, the Bullet Crops Assets pack, which I believe I credited correctly. I gotta look into that. Bullet Crops was a bunch of people got together a bunch of years ago and made a ton of assets for a bunch of different themes and put them up on tf2maps.net. They never got a map finished for any of the themes, but they put them up for download. Biggest problem with them was trying to track down who made what. But a little while ago, I think just last year, they finally got together and were able to credit as many things for as many people as possible that for people who are still active in general. So I got to be sure that I get those credits correctly, the Steam profile for those people, so that I can use this and give them credit. It's kind of a pain in the butt to have to track down everybody's Steam profile when I'm trying to use all this custom content, but so far it's been worth it, even though it has put the map up to quite a high download when it comes to file size. As of right now, the only King of the Hill map that has a larger file size than Synthetic Event is Lazarus, and that's because Lazarus is like 95.9% custom assets. But we got these new barrels here, so they're like barrels full of blood or body parts, so they're not the normal toxic waste barrels. I've got those all over the place. Replaced some of the wire spools with big pumpkins to try and make it fit. I forgot to change that one. But to try to make it fit the theme a little bit more, we got some more detailing, such as this little storage area here. Had more detailing going on up here. I changed the machines to the shelving unit with body parts in specimen jars, trying to make it fit the theme a little bit more. Trying to make these buildings a little bit more spooky, and try to remove some more of the King of the Hill synthetic detailing. The first beta version I did of this still had a lot of detailing from King of the Hill Synthetic that I thought would be okay to keep over because it fits the theme. But is that too loud? That might actually be way too loud in my ear holes. Let's turn that down there. There we go. But yeah, I still felt that it fit the theme somewhat, but people were saying that the map felt too much like stock King of the Hill Synthetic. So I've gone through and tried to re-theme some of the stuff. I changed this to just be a dark area with some eyes looking at you. I changed over here. I changed around some of the detailing in here, so this is different. Some of this stuff over here is a little bit different. I changed where the hole is and I put eyes down there, so it's something spooky looking at you, and so on and so forth. Also changed these to these Mercenary Park biohazard barrels, so they're a little bit more unique. They're not a unique asset, but they are more unique in general, and I also worked on lighting generally around the map to make areas, you know, not as dark and terrible as they were before. Let's see if we got some, where are the new assets? This is a new spawn books spawning location. I changed so that the spell books now have more spawning locations. There are now more pumpkin bomb locations and more pumpkin bombs that spawn at once on the map. So, you know, you can have fun with blowing those things up and blowing people up. They got a pumpkin bomb up here even. And the gargoyles. Now, when it comes to Halloween maps, the gargoyles show up every now and then. I used to have a gargoyle show up over here, but people were saying that was too close to the enemy spawn. So I replaced that with a spellbook drop instead and got rid of that. But if you look in here, we got new stuff! This new wallpaper assets and the ripped wallpaper overlay and Holtzen just... But Holton went nuts when it came to all of these new assets and things. This looks freaking great. It's amazing. Even got new stone floor assets. As you can see over here, I used all these stone floor textures. And if we go into a red area, we've got all of this stuff. Got stuff from CP Gasline, which is a Halloween version of CP Fastlane. Gastlane, Fastlane? Yeah, I always say Fastline for some reason. Anyway, got some of the custom stuff that was released for that, for this nice pink wallpaper in here. But the floor is brand new. Blaholtz made that. This right here, I'm not sure if I necessarily like this. You see, the problem I had was this section had this prop right there. It had that on it. Now, the way this prop is clipped, you can't get up here. It's completely clipped off, but you can jump up on this. And while it works for the blue side of the map, for the sort of science technology side of the map, it just does not fit the manor part, the manor theme that I'm going for with the red side of the map. So I had to try to figure out something else. And what I came up with was just extending the wall and putting this box on a bit of a pedestal here. So it's the same height as it is on the other side of the map, but it fits a lot better in my opinion. But yeah, we got custom wood wall paneling in here, all this nice wood floor that's misaligned. No, it's not misaligned, it's a step. That was me looking at it wrong. My bad, my bad. But if we continue to go over here, you'll see even more custom wallpaper, custom carpet, custom a lot of freaking crap. Over here, there's even more stuff. Custom carpet, more custom wallpaper. This guy's gone out of his mind with the assets. It's crazy. It's the reason why the file size is... I mean, even this table right here is custom to be less red specific, more generic, since this isn't supposed to be like the red manor from Man Manor. It's just supposed to be a red-sided manor theme, but it's not as specific to the Man Manor idea by having the R's on it, which was specific for the Mann Brothers mansion. So it's a bit, it's not quite as specific to that map. It still uses the same prop. It's just a reskin of it, since that prop was bought by Valve, which means Valve lets people reskin things, so we can edit it and go from there. I believe a guy named Rexy was the person who originally made those manor props. But if we go into Red Spawn, there's even another wallpaper. That's like 3 different custom wallpapers. And this ornate rug, which for some reason has this really dark shadow on it. And I can't figure out why it does that as of yet. I'll figure it out at some point. But this ornate rug used to have a big R in the middle, and now it's still red, but it's not quite as red team as it was before. And the part of the reason why we're going for that is because even though, yes, it's red, yes, it's blue, the map isn't themed to red and blue teams. And I tried to get that across a little bit over here on the blue side with this sign that was put up right here. If you see, there's a ladder and the thing, and the sign that's put up, there's a ladder going to it. It's put up a little crooked. And over here, you have like you can't actually see in there. Maybe I should make it so you can see in there, so you can see the details as my voice gives away. But anyway, there's a bunch of these signs in there to make it look like, well, the blue team just recently took over half of the property, so they're going by labeling it. So even though the textures are different for asymmetrical detailing, so you can tell one side is red and one side is blue, they're not specific red and blue team, they are just red and blue colored, because the quote-unquote lore of the map is that, you know, it's the Sinclair estate. The Sinclair estate wasn't built by either of the teams, so it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to have team-specific stuff all over the place, like red signs specifically for like red team and blue team, but instead to have it like a generic, this is obviously red because it's red, but it's not specific red team, it's just red. This is obviously blue because it's blue side, but it's not specifically blue team, it's just blue, if you can understand what I'm trying to get across here. So that the map still fits within the Team Fortress 2 artistic dynamic of splitting things from one color to the other color, so you obviously know what's your side, what's their side, but it's not like red team built this, blue team built this. You know, you can do that for something like Man Manor because it's supposed to be the Mann brothers' mansion, you know? I said man a bunch of times. So it's Redmond, I think his name's Redmond. Redmond, it's supposed to be like living in the mansion. So it's red themed because it's Redmin who owns Red Team. So it makes sense. This map is not. It's the mercs are fighting over ownership of the property, but they didn't actually like build the property. If you understand what I'm trying to get across here, I hope you understand what I'm trying to get across here. But yeah, let's pop in here as a class. MP waiting for players. 1. Nope. MP waiting for players. Cancel. Spell it correctly, Pie Man. 1. There we go. Okay. So let's go and cap the point, shall we? And we'll be able to show off the new spawn spell locations. I added 2 new spawn spell locations for both sides, so that's 4 total new spell locations. Just because when I got this map tested, people were feeling like there wasn't quite enough of the spells. I want to keep the spells only showing up when you capture the point, so that things don't go too chaotically crazy. But people they got the feeling that there just was not enough spells to make it really worth it. So I added a couple more here. So now we have a spell spawn here. Anywhere you see these Tesla coil lightning rod things sticking out of the side of a building or anywhere, that is where a spell book is going to spawn. So now you have a spell book here. And like I said before, you have a spell book that spawns over here by the spawn area. Specifically put it in this spot to try to get people to come over to this area since, I mean, it really only exists for detailing in general, but they're trying to make more use of this area and not cram everything into the exact same areas. That's why I put this over here, trying to make use of that area, So now you've got 2 spell books that pop up in the spawn area for anybody who's recently coming out of spawn. You got more spell books around the transition sections. Also did a little bit of changing in there. I forgot to change that texture all the way in the back. That's annoying. But, yeah. That's just about everything. I did change around some of the detailing down here because I moved some of the stuff that was detailing the other side over to this side. Since the other side... I don't know what's going on with these stupid dots. Since the other side didn't quite feel right. It felt like I was trying a little bit too much in that area, so I changed it to be sort of like a wine cellar or a beer cellar or whatever, and I found this really cool pentagram. It's not quite a pentagram, but it's like a pentagram type summoning circle overlay in the Halloween overlays. I believe it's used for the Wheel of Fate, which has to be said always like that. So I thought I would throw that in there as a nice little witch-crafty touch. As you see, the Skeleton King has now showed up, so he's going to come after me. Yep, here he comes. Here he comes. But the point is now locked. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. The point is now locked, and it was set to neutral. Oh, jeez. I am going to die. Somebody help me! Oh, crap. But yeah, that's pretty much all we got there. That's pretty much everything for Synthetic Event B2. I'm dead. Oh, the Skeleton King. You can be somewhat fun. You can also be really annoying when people overdo skeletons. So I don't want to overdo it. Like, I think Gorge Event, well, I do like Gorge Event. It has, when you cap the first point, there's skeletons that pop up everywhere. In some of the ICSs is a mapper, some of their Halloween maps, which they made Hellstone, Gravestone, and Millstone Event. I may have repeated something in there, but they made those 3. It's basically a 5th Curve event, Rumble event, and Millstone event. And they use a lot of skeletons. And while skeletons can be fun, they can be annoying when they're overdone. So I'm trying not to... Oh, thank goodness. I'm trying not to overdo it, but I do want to make the Skeleton King a bit more of a threat. And the only way I can really do it is by having more skeletons show up, since I can't affect his health points. There's no way to edit those. I can't make him do more damage. I can't have him have more health. I can't make him move faster or anything. The most I can do is give him some backup. So that is what I did. I gave him some backup. But there you go. Please let me know what you think about the map in the comment section below this video or on the thread over on tf2maps.net. The map is not fully finished. It is still beta 2. So it's not ready to go in the workshop just yet. There's plenty of time to do more work on it, but I've kind of thought about moving things up a little bit. Originally, I wanted to have the map ready by October 1st, but I got some suggestions from other people working on Halloween maps that it's probably a good idea to try to get the thing up sometime in September if possible. So if I can get it up by like mid-September to maybe the last week of September. Still want it to be around October. It's not going to be ready, like, right now. I'm still waiting on some stuff. Some assets here and there and feedback. But I do hope to get it out this month at some point. So please, let me know what you think. Let me know if anything needs worked on, needs fixing, needs changing. And I have MegapieMan. I will talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching. I'm going to die!